Welcome to another exciting roller skating action featuring the Chiefs and the Bay Area Bombers. This game coming your way from Kezar Pavilion in Golden Gate Park in the city of San Francisco. This is Walt Harris and Jerry Seltzer to describe the action, and we're picking up the action with the score of the Chiefs 3 and the Bombers 2. We're in the first period of play in the first half. 6 minutes left in this period. The Chiefs are in the gold and the green, the Bombers in the orange and deep brown. Getting off to a fast start here with a lot of action in the first 6 minutes of play. Wouldn't you say, Jerry?
There have been. These two teams have not met since that classic battle at Shea Stadium in which the Chiefs beat the Bombers, went on to take that Eastern Championship playoffs. And they're out here now in the West Coast trying to show the Bombers they're going to be just as strong out here.
And here we go. The jam getting underway. Ortiz moving up number 36 for the Bombers, and she's out of there on the jam. So the Bombers have the lead jammer out. The Bombers have a wall across that track now, and the Chiefs unable to shake anybody loose. They're all trying to break it up, but they can't get anybody out of there. It's the Bombers strictly alone on this jam. Armida Ortiz, the only jammer out, but she's going to have to face the rough Sandy Dunn back there. Carolyn Moreland 43 in case she needs any help, and there's Moreland with a block and Ortiz. Now it works in reverse. When the Bombers kept the Chiefs from getting anybody out, now the Chiefs are keeping the Bombers from getting anybody back there to help out Ortiz. So that wall across the track now turned into a handicap for the Bombers. And Moreland and Sandy Dunn taking turns on the rookie Ortiz, so they've got her under control. Carol Venus-Myers trying to fight her way back there. Can't get back through that wall of gold shirts. Ortiz hammered by Sandy Dunn. A little rough out there. That's roller skating action. It's rough. Ortiz gets the rail, trying to pick up some speed. Time runs out, though. No point scored on that. And Sandy Dunn lowers the boom on Ortiz.
Well, here comes Margie Laszlo. Right after Sandy Dunn.
Laszlo came back, and they say Sandy Dunn was defending herself. No penalties have been called. So no score in the play. It remains 3 for the Chiefs and 2 for the Bombers.
Well, the Chiefs are going to have a long series here, and then they go up to the Pacific Northwest, and they don't get back to their home area. Only one series this summer for the fans watching in the East. We'll tell them about it later on against Ken Monty, Bob Woodbury's Wild Red Devils, and that's the only action for the summer. One thing different, the reason the Chiefs are playing these this summer, so many air-conditioned buildings, and fans can get out of that great heat.
Sandy Dunn wrapping Tucker, grabs her with a headlock, slams her to the track. Everything legal, and no one's looking. Here we go. Great rivalry between these two teams. They almost both throw out the rules when they get together. Underneath that double block was Carol Venus-Myers. Moreland and McGuire left behind. Carol pouring it on now. Tucker blocking back there on Sandy Dunn. Here comes Carol Venus-Myers up to try and move in for the point. There it is, and jam's cut off, and it's 1-point Bombers. Momentary loss of power here at Kezar in San Francisco. You didn't miss any action. 2:50 to go here in the first period of play. The Bombers and the Chiefs. As Jerry mentioned a few moments ago, we'll be going over the schedule for the Chiefs and that tremendous series they got coming up back there against the Red Devils. And with the Red Devils, you can bet there's going to be a lot of fireworks that Bob Woodbury and Ken Monty and the others that they have on that team. We'll be telling you about that a little later. Jerry will give you the dates and places where the games will be played, so you might want to jot it down. Right now on the jam, the Chiefs have out on this play Barbara Baker, 48. It looks like Debbie Thompson with her. Double block in there, and it takes Ortiz out of there, and down also goes Kathy Pulliam. So the Chiefs are certainly in charge on this jam. Barbara Baker, Debbie Thompson in that order as they're closing on the pack. Sandy Dunn back there where she can block for him, number 46, the great Sandy Dunn, tremendous all-star skater. Points Baker out, that Pulliam was coming up. Baker went out, dead, double block in there. She takes them both down, and there's 2 points in there. 2 for each skater, making a total of 4 for the Chiefs on the play. And they go out in front now, 7-3 over the Bombers. Jerry, you want to mention a couple of dates? The game's coming up back east?
Sure do. We mentioned this big series between the Pioneers and the Chiefs, or rather the Red Devils. Sunday, August 5th, Comac, Long Island Arena. Monday, August 6th, the new Broome County Memorial Arena, brand new building wall in Binghamton, New York. Wednesday, August 8th, the air-conditioned War Memorial in Syracuse. Thursday, August 9th, at the Glen Falls Senior High School Gym in Glen Falls, New York. The first game, and the only one of this right in New York City, at Madison Square Garden, the Felt Forum, Walt. That's that small building, that good little 4,000-seat building. First time the Chiefs have ever skated there. And that's Saturday, August 11th. And, of course, tickets now available through your Ticketron outlet and Madison Square Garden.
You know, the people that get a ticket for that game in California are going to really be surprised. They'll feel like they are part of the game right down there where you can really get in on the action. Here we go, double block by the Chiefs in there on Tucker. Also her teammate on that play, Althea Gandy, but they stayed up. There's a whip coming up for Moreland. The whip goes to McGuire, but Glasgow broke up that in a great effort. Gets a whip to Althea Gandy, who's on her own now. The only threat, a bomber skater coming up on the back. The Chiefs lead 7-3. There's Sandy Dunn with a block on Althea Gandy. Sandy Dunn with another hard block in there. Gandy stays on her skates. No help back there for her. She's spun into the rail by Sandy Dunn. Tucker tries to get back. Judy McGuire makes sure Dolores Tucker does not get back there. Down goes Althea Gandy, but she's game. She gets up. She'll try again. Tucker hit by Sandy Dunn. On the rail, Carol Peanutsmeyer. Now she's back there where she help her block, but the Chief skater is coming up on the down low. A little bit here. Score 7-4 now. That is the end of the first period of play with the score. The Bay Area Bombers 4 and the Chiefs 7. Walt Harris and Jerry Seltzer here at Kezar Pavilion, Golden Gate Park in San Francisco. We have the Chiefs and the Bombers going at it. The Chiefs leading 7-4. The men are on the track for the first time in this game. The second period just getting underway. Not on the jam immediately. We have two Chief skaters in action.
Looks like John Hurley has got number 47 on, and that's kind of throwing us here.
John Hurley leading on the jam. Chasing in with James Ball, 32. Behind the back, way back on the jam is Perez and Mallory. They were really having a battle. Another block in there. James Ball has the lead. Pete Boyd cuts in there and cuts off John Hurley. Ball slammed into the rail by Bill Grohl. These men really hitting out there. Rapping John Hurley as Pete Boyd. Boyd draws a warning from Bill Morrissey, the referee. James Ball slowed down by Bill Grohl. Another block on it. Ball goes back and levels. Now Pete Boyd working on Bill Grohl. He's down. There goes James Ball for the point. Oh, man, what action out here. We got it going tonight. No question about that.
I think we're going to be in for quite a series, Walt, and all the more power to this Chief team. You know, with the wild schedule in the league this season, the Chiefs, just night before last, had a game in Jackson, Mississippi. They're in here today, except due to our complex transportation situation these days, two skaters didn't make it. That's Sam Tiapula and Lloyd Turpin. They're going to be on hand for the next Chief game. But the Chiefs had to put a couple of young skaters in uniform for this one, and there's some jersey shifting. As you see, John Early, also Charlie O'Connell has the flu. He's out of this game, but he's coaching. He'll be back for the next Bomber game.
Out on the jam, Bob Dansell moving, and Chris Rowe, number 42, right behind him for the Chiefs. Pete Boyd waiting on the back, lost his helmet. He must have been blasted by somebody. Bob Dansell with the block, and Chris Rowe sails right on by. Both men still moving on their skates, so moving on the back. Bill Grohl back there to block number 49. Pete Boyd back to number 36 for the Bombers, the moving wall. Bill Grohl with a block on Dansell. Pete Boyd slowing down Chris Rowe, slamming him with a hard wicked elbow shot. It might have been illegal. It was illegal. Blocked by Pete Boyd. He's off the track, and it's a point for the Chiefs. Gilla Roscoe now with a block on Chris Rowe. Already has picked up 1 point. Dansell put over the rail by Bill Grohl. Grohl moving up now. Roscoe with a block back there. Gilla Roscoe, great veteran star. Bob Dansell has the lead. Bill Grohl puts a block on him again. Chris Rowe trying to get by Roscoe. Can't do it. He slammed into the rail. Spins along the rail. Time runs out. 1 point Chiefs. That was on the illegal block by Pete Boyd on the play. And the Chiefs lead the Bombers now 8-5. We were talking earlier about the tremendous series coming up on the East Coast, with a wild Red Devil team coming in. One series only this summer. How about some of the other dates, Jerry?
All right, the last 5 games of the series, Walt. Sunday, August 12th at the RP High Fieldhouse in Troy, New York. Monday, August 13th, Kingston, New York, Dietz Memorial Stadium. Wednesday, August 15th, Patterson, New Jersey, Hinchcliffe Stadium. And Friday, August 17th, the new air-conditioned Civic Center in Springfield, Mass. And the series ends Saturday, August 18th, Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Nassau, Long Island. Be sure and see one of these games in your area. The Chiefs and the Red Devils.
Here we go on the jam. Alvin Mallory moving up, trying to overhaul. Joe Perez, jumping Joe Perez, battling back hard on Mallory. These men are really moving and blocking. That's what's great about a cheap bomber series. They skate rough, but they skate fast, too. Mallory has the lead now. Jumping Joe Perez picking up speed again. Pete Boyd did a block for Mallory. They can make a move on Bill Groh before Perez gets there. They can't. Bill Groh got away from Pete Boyd's block. Perez now in scoring position. Pete Boyd has to worry about him. Mallory being blocked out by Bill Groh. There's Bill Groh, 49. Mallory, 33. Trying to find skating room. Pete Boyd back there, slowing down Perez of the Chiefs. Mallory again slowed down. Mallory coming back with the block on Perez. They level him. Now they're moving. Pete Boyd moving, not worrying about Perez for the moment, but he is up and moving again. Behind the back. Now Perez working on Mallory, who's on the rail. Mallory had scored that point. Bill Groh looking for him one way. He went the other way. And they picked up the point for the Bombers. Score now, the Chiefs 8, the Bombers 6.
If you would like to get a free copy of the rules and understand this game better, put your name, address, city, station on which you watch this program on a postcard and send it to Rules, Box 1828, Oakland, California, 94604, and we'll explain the whole thing to you very carefully.
Well, Perez took a hard comeback block that time from Mallory. Figured he had to get even, and he did, and he ends up in the penalty box. So on the track, we have 5 Bombers, and we have 4 Chiefs. Score 8-6. The Chiefs on top. 6.5 minutes to go here in the second period of play. Don't forget, a lot of you fans will see the second half next week. It's on immediately, wherever you are in the Chiefs net. And Tony Roman grabs the lead on Mike Gammon. Mike Gammon right back on the inside. The 2 fastest men in the world on the bank track out there moving right now. Look at him move out there. Then look at him. Oh, Gammon. Oh! He's up. He's up. Oh, man, oh, he ever got up? Oh, never know. Roman getting it now from Bill Groh. Mike Gammon with a hand on his back. He went over that rail backwards that time. Spun along it. Down he went. He's back on his skates. He wants a shot at Roman, and he gets it. He decks him. And then he is hurting. Mike Gammon is hurting. Here comes John Early. He hits Roman in the rail. Early has the lead in the jam, 47. Mike Gammon's going to give him a whip, but Mike Gammon is hurting out there. Pete Boyd dumped by Bill Groh, and is a point for John Early. And Pete Boyd is down and hurting right now. Man, it's going to be fast. This is going to be rough. The Chiefs and the Bombers. There's the trainer checking with Pete Boyd.
Well, for the fans watching here on this Chief Network, right after this half, you're going to have interviews with Walt Harris, going to be talking to Eddie Perez and Barbara Baker, 2 of the better Chiefs that you don't get to talk to. And that Barbara Baker's quite a story, Walt. Being the daughter of Annis Big Red Jensen, Russ Rosie Baker, 2 of the best skaters ever to skate. And everyone said, when is she going to be another Annis Big Red Jensen? And Barbara never seemed to get up to that. She had a severe back injury. Everybody thought she could never skate again. And this season, she's really shown. I think she's one of the top skaters in the league.
Right you are, Jerry. 9-6 the score. The Chiefs lead. Here's the whip. Pete Boyd whipped out by the jammer, James Paul. And Bill Groh goes in pursuit. So here we go. Mike Gammon is still on the track, though. He's recovering from that ball. Pete Boyd and Bill Groh. Forget about skating. Here we go. The moving wall and Bill Groh. All blocks must have been legal. No penalties called. Charlie O'Connor raised Pete Boyd on. Bill Groh decked again as he gets up. That's what happens. Once you're decked and the back catches up to you, man, you're decked again before you get back on balance. Pete Boyd moving on the back. Bill Groh back there to block. Now here we go. Hang on to your seats. Bill Groh hits Pete Boyd. Boyd uses the rail. Hits him again. Knee block in there by Bill Groh. An elbow block in there by Bill Groh. And now shoulder block in there on Pete Boyd. A knee block in there. Bill Groh working on a big man of the series. A knee block straight from over the rail and out on the floor. He goes. He's hanging there. Here comes James Paul in the jam. He'll grab the lead. Time's running out on him. That's it. Time ran out before he could get up there. Pete Boyd needs a trainer again. Score remains 9-6. Incidentally, I'd like to say hello to Pete Nistock, who's a lobster fisherman on the East Coast. I met him in New York. I was back there in the spring for a game, the Garden. He came out here to California, to Petaluma, California, entered the World Wrist Wrestling Championship, and he was a runner-up, his first time out of the box, and that's quite some effort. Usually you can't hope to hardly place him. The competition is so fierce. He did a fantastic job.
And Walt, of course, as you know, he was at that game at Shea Stadium. Brought me a 22-pound lobster.
I think Pete brought you the Loch Ness Monster.
I think so, too.
Here we go on the jam. Boy, Mike Gammon's getting it. Bob Dansell out, Tony Roman out. Chasing him and challenging him on the play is number 48. The man they picked up for this game, Frank Marino. Boy, jumping out of action. Blocking back there behind the pack on Bob Dansell. Dansell, the jammer, number 34. This Bill Grohl is rugged. Dansell looking for skating. Pete Boyd comes back. He blasted Bill Grohl. And scoring the point is Dansell. Moving in Lee now. Pete Boyd. Here's the whip to Dansell. Lee with a block on Dansell. Pete Boyd behind the back. No, around the other way, and Larry Lee is ready for him with another block. Larry Lee's getting a good game out there for the Chiefs, number 44. Dansell on the outside and moving fast into Marino. He's all down by Pete Boyd. Officials have to untangle this play. How many points? Which way do they go? One Chief point, one Bomber point, two Bomber points. That's the way it goes. Two Bomber points and one Chief point on a wild, wild play.
Say, if you would like to have a game scheduled in your area and you have a gym at a high school or college or any arena that seats more than 2,500 people, write to Bookings, P.O. Box 1827, Oakland, California, 94604. You might have the Bombers or the Chiefs or another fine team scheduled in your area next season. We're booking right now for next season, and why not raise money and have this great entertainment in your city?
10-8 is the score. The Chiefs on top. 1:30 to go in this period. Out on the jam, Alvin Mallory. And chasing him on the play is Joe Perez. Perez now behind the back. They've got Pete Boyd. Pete Boyd grabs him by the heads. Oh, he's got them now. I don't know if anything's legal out there or not. Lee. John Early had Pete Boyd. He finally reached out, grabbed them both by the head. He's so big he can do it. He decked them both. Down the line here, Junior out there to check the Chiefs skaters. Pete Boyd just too much man for him that time. The Bombers scored two and the Chiefs scored one on the play. And now Larry Lee is working on Pete Boyd. Clobbering him, kicking him. Has him on the rail. This Larry Lee skated a good jam that time, and he didn't finish with the jam either. He was still throwing them. 11-10 is the score here. The Chiefs still lead by one. 33 seconds to go here in the second period of play. Gammon decked Boyd then as he went by. Jerry, I missed that one.
He sure did. He gave him one last shot. Of course, Pete wasn't expecting it.
With O'Connell out of action in this game with the virus, Pete Boyd is the only big man the Bombers have out there. He's durable. Larry Lee is going to go to the penalty box. They have four skaters out there and 2 men in the penalty box. That makes 6. Well, that's the end of the second period anyway, with the score. The score 10-11 in what was a wild second period of action. Tremendous action all the way. You got two teams out there that skate fast and hit hard. That means the next time you see teams like this in your town, go out and take in the action. You folks in the East see them against the Red Devils. Chiefs and the Red Devils, that'll be a thrilling series. All the way, Bob Woodbury leading that team. Well, the score here at the end of the second period of play is the Bay Area Bombers. Walt Harris and Jerry Seltzer here at Kezar Pavilion, Golden Gate Park in the city of San Francisco. And we really got one going here between the Chiefs and the Bombers. Chiefs lead 11-10. We're going now into the third period of play with the girls on the track. Remember, Jerry will be reminding you folks about that big one summer series coming up. Red Devils and the Chiefs. Out there on the jam, we have 43, Carolyn Moreland, 45, Judy McGuire. It's Marge Laszlo jamming here in the middle. Laszlo in the middle. Chief on each side. Flashing blonde Judy McGuire. The Carolyn Moreland is one of the top stars in the league now. This gal's really come a long ways. They're too much for Laszlo, and they pull away. There are only 3 Chiefs out there, and there are 4 Bombers, but the Chiefs are certainly in control on this play. Now there are 4 Chiefs. Now there are 5 Chiefs as they come flying out of the penalty boxes. Now there are 5 Bombers since Carol Penismeyer turns back. These 2 girls are jamming 43-45. They take Tucker out. They score a point apiece. Laszlo falls over the top. They're going to score a bundle. A big, big play. 6 total points, I believe. That is correct. 6 Chief points on the play. They lead 17-10 over the Bombers.
Well, all you can say that happened there is that you have an unusual situation. You started play with 6 skaters on the track because of penalties, and you end with 10. Teams such as the Chiefs find themselves in a more fortunate position. They picked up the slack blocking and were able to move right through there. It's tough to set your defenses at the start.
Don't forget those games in the East with the Red Devils. August 5th, Comac, New York, Long Island Arena. That's on a Sunday, August 5th. Monday, August 6th, Binghamton, New York, Broome County Memorial Arena. Wednesday, August 8th, Syracuse, New York, War Memorial Auditorium. That's a wild Red Devil team led by Big Bad Bob Woodbury, Ken Money and company. We're going to give you the rest of the dates again later on, so keep with us, stay with us. Here we go on the jam. Barbara Baker, number 48. Out to challenger, Althea Gandy, number 32. Baker cuts back to the inside, puts a block on Gandy. Gandy there trying to get to the inside. Baker cuts her off on the turn, though. Secondary jammers are out, but they're quite a ways back. Right now it's the pack here and the 2 lead jammers. Gandy again with the lead. Baker alongside as they're closing in the back. Baker with a block on Gandy, grabs the lead as they move in the pack. There's Sandy Dunn. Sandy Dunn will drop back to block out Althea Gandy. Tucker blocking on Baker. Pushes her right over the rail. Tucker then hammers Sandy Dunn, and Gandy goes by for the point. Sandy Dunn is down, throws her helmet. Tucker goes back. Officials run to the spot. Keep it under control.
Well, there you saw Walt part of that great feisty spirit the Chiefs have had all season. They've always been a small team, but there's got to be a reason they win. And everybody protects everybody else on that team.
And when they do, team spirit means a lot.
Walt continuing that Red Devil Chiefs series. Wednesday, April 8th, Syracuse at the War Memorial. Thursday, August 9th. Or if I said April, I meant August. Glen Falls, New York. Saturday, August 11th, the Felt Forum, Madison Square Garden, New York City. This is 4,000 seats. Sunday, August 12th, RBI Fieldhouse in Troy. Monday, August 13th, Dietz Stadium in Kingston, New York. And there's 3 more games. We'll tell them about them right after this jam.
Here we go. They got a bomber in there. Dolores Tucker, Moreland has her. Sandy Dunn has her. Judy McGuire has her. They're rocking her around. Here come the jammers. Debbie Thompson gets the point. The Bombers are on the deck, and they're being stepped on by first McGuire, then Sandy Dunn. And the Chiefs really worked the girls over on the Bomber team that time. Connell wants a penalty called, but he's not going to get any support from the referee. So he's going over to jaw away at Sandy Dunn himself. 18-11 now the score. 1 point on the play for the Chiefs.
Walt, the last 3 games of the series between the Pioneers and Red Devils. Wednesday, August 15th, Hinchcliffe Stadium in Patterson. Friday, August 17th, the new Civic Center, air-conditioned in Springfield, Massachusetts. And the final game and the last game for several months for the Chiefs back there, Saturday, August 18th, Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Long Island. That, of course, is air-conditioned.
Here we go. Woo! What a trick from the last one. Laszlo Dechter. They're way behind that pack now. 4 jammers moving on and moving fast. Laszlo moving on. Moreland dumps her, and there's 2 points for the Bombers. Laszlo goes back to Moreland. They're not settled yet out there. Who's going to win the battle? There are 2 Bomber points. 18-13 is now the score, and these gals are really moving out there. To 13 is the score. Sandy Dunn is in the penalty box. Her time should be about up. No, she has to sit down again. She'll have some time to go. There we go. Pivot helmet by Carolyn Morden, 43. She's hit by Tucker as soon as he puts on the helmet. She's the pivot skater, but she's way behind the pack. The jammer getting out. She's going to whip out the pivot skater. That was Kathy Pulliam, 31. The jammer started to play for the Bombers, and she whipped out Dolores Tucker at 34. And the brilliant Dolores Tucker's out on the jam. She's being chased, though, by Debbie Thompson, 44, and Judy McGuire, 45. 2 girl. Here's a whip from Debbie Thompson to McGuire. Help her close the gap on Dolores Tucker. Back to the block, Carolyn Mullen. Tucker coming into scoring position. Coming up fast is Judy McGuire for the Chiefs. Tucker trying to outfeint Morgan. Won't go for it. Out. She went under the block. They collided. She goes by. Ortiz goes by. 2 Bomber points. Oh, Morrissey says one. He says the play was cut off before the other bomber went by. Or no, he said she hit the infield. He said Ortiz put a skate on the infield when she went by. The second point for the Bombers is not allowed. It's just one Bomber point. They have 14 on the scoreboard now, and the Chiefs have 18, and Bill Morrissey still hopping along the track trying to show everybody what happened. Ortiz hit the infield with a skate. You cannot hit the infield to pass another skater. If you do and go by him, you got to go back and pass him again to get that point. 18-14 is the score. 5:18 to go here in the third period of play in the first half. Don't forget interviews at the end of the half. Don't forget to watch the last half. If you watch it next week on the station, it certainly should be brilliant. Here we go. Carol Meyer out on the jam. There's her block on Baker. And Peanut skates away. Every time, look out, they've got Tucker. Sandy Dunn has a headlock on Tucker. Here comes Moreland from behind. Wraps her with a fist. Hits her with another fist. Hits her again. While they're working on her, Carol Meyer picks up 2 points. While they were working on Tucker, Carol Meyer went by for 2 points. Laszlo and Merlin. Laszlo hits the deck. Merlin sates away the winner that time. And the Bombers score on that last play. It's 18-16 on the scoreboard now. The Chiefs lead the Bombers by 2. Trainer helping Laszlo up.
If you'd like to put your name on the mailing list and receive special advanced scheduling information on games in your area, send your name, address, city, zip code number, and the station on which you watch this program to mailing list, P.O. Box 1828, Oakland, California 94604, and you'll get special advance information about upcoming games in your area.
Here we go with another jam. 3:45 to go in this period. Moreland in the penalty box. Laszlo in the penalty box. Each team with 4 skaters out there. Kathy Pulliam blasted out of there by Judy McGuire on the play. They've got a Bomber Tucker back there again, and she's passed for a point. That was Sandy Dunn and Barbara Baker working on Tucker. They're going to try for more. They're moving. Carol Penis Meyer is decked in there by Claudia Hockey. She's passed for a point. And that's 2 Chief points, and things are getting rough out here. 20-16 is the score.
You know, Walt, a lot of people say the Chiefs can't skate rough, but they look like they can do what they have to do. And when you've got a team that's as strong as Sandy Dunn and Barbara Baker and Judy McGuire, Carolyn Moreland, really, you don't suffer too much in strength from top to bottom. They don't have really the truly spectacular girl that you come to think of, like a Joan Weston or perhaps like a Margie Laszlo, but I'd say from top to bottom, you can't find a better women's squad.
Well, it's always amazing to me. I don't get a chance to see teams like the Chiefs all the time, and so sometimes it's a couple of months in between, and when I do, it's amazing the improvement seeing some of the skaters out there. They've had some skaters there that have really come along this last year. Here we go again. Kathy Pulliam out on the jam, 31, and chasing her. Carolyn Moreland, 43, and Judy McGuire, 45. The Chiefs have 2 jammers out, and the Bombers have 1. Maybe she better cut off the jam, and she does. The only thing she could do. 2 great skaters moving on her as the youngster cut off the jam. It's at 20-16, the score remains. The Chiefs on top with 2 minutes to go here in the third period of play. Don't forget, you folks, want to see that Red Devil team in action. Man, that's loaded with talent from top to bottom, the kind that explodes all over the place.
Of course, the main thing, Walt, is there's never been any games scheduled back there in the summer. If there's a good turnout, they'll get more next summer.
Here we go. Laszlo tries to get out. Moreland cuts in front of Moreland, and McGuire again on the jam. These gals really working hard for the Chiefs. Laszlo in the middle. Margie Laszlo in the middle. McGuire 45. Oh, Laszlo sidestepped the block by McGuire. McGuire hit Moreland, and down they went. And Margie Laszlo is all by herself for the Bombers now, who trail by 4 with 1:17 to go in this period. This could be the last jam in the third period. She's got in the back. She's the only girl in scoring position, number 30. A pull away here by the Chiefs. A pull away by the Chiefs. They're going to skate out the full 60 seconds here. What's left of it? Tucker in there with a block of McGuire. Laszlo scores. Carol Meyer the block on Hockey. Another point. They're moving now. A double whip here to Laszlo. She has 2. Can she stay up? Moving on Sandy Dunn now. She has scored 2. Moving on Sandy Dunn. Time running short alongside. She might do her own blocking if she can get another half stride in there. Plasma with that half stride does the blocking. She picks up her 3rd point, cuts it off. Oh, man. Sandy Dunn out on the floor. Tucker almost went over the rail after Sandy Dunn. Now she's grabbed. Sandy Dunn is probably the helmet by Tucker. These gals are wild out there tonight. Tremendous spirited game between 2 of the top clubs that ever got on the bank track. That makes the score 20-19. We still have 12 seconds to go here in this period. Now they've got Tucker. McGuire grabbed it from behind. Sandy Dunn building her with a helmet. Mullen wants to get in here. Here comes Carol. Here's Meyer, and she's grabbed from behind from McGuire. And they're working over the 2 Bomber girls. Here's Laszlo now, trying to get a piece of Mullen. He's got a hold of her. He's building her, taking her down the track. Knees in there by Laszlo. Laszlo down, Mullen staying up. The Bombers really getting battered here by the Chief Club. Some help down there from Mullen didn't pay off when they hit the deck. That's Sandy Dunn and Mullen down there. Up there to talk to him, John Early. Well, that's the end of the 3rd period of play with the score. The Bay Area Bombers 19 and the Chiefs 20.
Well, for those who've just joined us, what a fantastic period it's been. Game, rather, I should say. First 3 periods have just been something else. This Chief team has come in to skate.
Well, it's all coming your way from Kezar and San Francisco. The Chiefs and the Bombers, and what a tremendous first half we are having. They've been tearing a place apart. 20-19 is the score. The Chiefs lead the Bombers by 1. On the jam, Chris Rowe 42. James Ball 32 moving behind him. There's the back, blocking in there. The Chiefs are minus Sam Teopoula. Lloyd German didn't get in time for the game. They skated night before last in Jackson, Mississippi, and that's a pretty long drive across the country. The Bombers are minus Charlie O'Connell. He's out with a virus, although he's coaching in the infield. Should be ready to go in the next game. Chris Rowe trying to move by Pete Boyd. James Ball trying to get by Bill Grohl, the rugged Bill Grohl, Pride of New York. Number 49. There's his block on James Ball. Spins him into the rail. Solid 190 pounds out there. Bill Grohl puts Ball into the rail again. Pete Boyd puts Chris Rowe down. Now Pete Boyd will move on Bill Grohl. There he is. Bill Grohl sidesteps with a good move. Cuts in front of him. Puts a block on James Ball again. Rides him up on the rail. Time running out. That's it. No score on that jam. The first jam here in the 4th period of play. 20-19 is the score. This Walt Harris and Jerry Seltzer describing the action here in San Francisco.
You know, Walt, we're here at Kezar Pavilion, and all over the country, sometimes people get Kezar Pavilion confused with Kezar Stadium, which of course is right next to the edge of Golden Gate Park. We are inside. It's about 4,000 seats, and any Sunday, if you fans anywhere going on your summer vacation coming to San Francisco, 3:45 any Sunday, come here to Kezar Pavilion, and you'll see these great teams in action.
You folks in the Bay Area got a big game in San Jose tomorrow night, Wednesday in Stockton, Thursday in Sacramento, and Saturday at the Oakland Coliseum Arena. We'll be telling you about those games and the big special events later on. Pete Boyd blocking Bill Grove. Mike Gammon up there, takes down about 3 men, and he's out and moving, and Tony Roman is chasing him now. Tony Roman chasing Mike Gammon. Here we go. Look out. And behind has an advantage there. Bill Grove right on his face. Oh, man. This is a fast, tremendous game here. The Chiefs and the Bombers. Tony Roman moving. Bill Grove and Mike Gammons over their place backfired that time, and both ended up on the deck. Bill Grove the block now on Tony Roman. Dynamite Tony Roman on this play against rugged Bill Grove. Ex-amateur boxer, ex-professional baseball player. Pretty good golfer, but a great roller derby star. Bill Grove blocking Tony Roman. Mike Gammon coming back. He takes a shot in there. He decks Tony Roman. He's not. Look out, look out, look out. Bill Norris, he walks out. So move away, Mike. Bill Grove goes out there. Charlie O'Connell out there. Jim Cook there. Trainer there. Tony Roman being picked up by Jim Cook and the trainer. Oh, boy. 20-19, the score remains. What a battle we got going here, Jerry.
Well, you know, that's interesting. Charlie O'Connell out there. Ordinarily in the situation last season, Charlie is just recovering from the flu, a virus. He would have come in, looked at the lineup, and said, I have to skate. He could have skated this game. He'll be in the next Bomber game. There he is. You see he's pretty fit health. But he looks out there and he sees he's got Pete Boyd, he's got Jim Cook, he's got Gil Orozco and Jim Paul, Al Mallory. This team can go without him, and that makes a difference.
So he's stay out the next game. Fighting this virus for over a week. He tried to skate once a week ago and then had to leave in the middle of the game. He was so sick he couldn't stand up. Here we go. On the jam, Joe Perez, number 43. Alvin Mallory, 33. Jumping Joe Perez, Buddy Atkinson Sr. calls him. And he's come along. He's really working on Mallory now. Hammers him again. They've cut the back. Larry Lee there, number 44, is doing a pretty fine job for the Chiefs, too. He's blocking out Alvin Mallory. Pete Boyd back there, really working over Joe Perez. Moving ball, Pete Boyd hammers him into the rail. This Pete Boyd is rough, and he likes it rough. Larry Lee slowing down Mallory, and then Bill Grove puts a finishing block on him. Pete Boyd blasted out of there by Bill Grove. Perez goes by for point. He's cut off by Gil Orozco. 1 point for the Chiefs. Out on the floor. Equals Perez. Boy, it's going to be rough before we're through in this one. Don't forget to see that last half, too. This is just the first half. This is the fourth period of play.
You know, sometimes on a team you can get a little bit of dissension in management. Well, Buddy Atkinson Sr., of course, and one-time great coach for the Chiefs. Look out.
Bill Grove blasting. Gil Orozco, the lead of the midsection for Rick Ryan. Pete Boyd is challenging Bill Grove, and he gets a leg. And he gets a right hand on the chin. Amateur boxer lays it in there, and Mike Gavin comes off the rail on him now.
Tony Roman started coming Mike Gammon from the other end of the track, but I think the referees have this in order. Buddy Atkinson Sr. definitely does not agree with the way that Charlie O'Connell has had this team skating these last rough couple of series, and it's going to be interesting to see his views on this game because, of course, he trains the skaters now for the Bombers, and the Chiefs are the team he coached most of this season.
Well, the Chiefs have a reputation on the East Coast for clean, hard skating, but they've come into this game. I guess they've heard about the Bombers' new style, and they're going to meet them fire with fire, and man, we got one going here. So Bill Grohl's in the penalty box. Bob Dansell out on the jam, and moving right behind him is John Early, 47. Roman and Gammon at the rear of the pack going at it. Gammon gets it from Roman. Dansell gets it from John Early. Early has the lead in the jam. Roman is down. Mike Gammon gets him again. Roman sets himself. Here comes John Early, 47. Oh! Roman looked like he wrapped him right on the nose with the left hook over his shoulder. The left hook that way. There it is again. Hammers him with an elbow block. Tony Roman, who can do it all. Half man. Oh, he lays another. Here comes Gammon. Oh, boy. Gammon coming back on the Roman. Roman went under, but he flew through the air. He must have gone 10 feet. And he hit Early, who tries to get up and goes down again. Larry Lee goes by him, but the officials had called off the jam with an injured skater on the track. Here we go. Oh, man.
You know,
it's getting rough out there, Jerry.
There's Tony Roman. You can't accuse Mike Gammon of holding back anything. He lets go entirely.
John Early comes up to the knee to Roman.
Mike Gammon and Tony Roman have quite a match race coming up next Saturday here in the Bay Area at the Oakland Coliseum Arena. It's going to answer the question, really, of who's the fastest and who's the strongest. They go 5 laps, speed only, and only on the last lap will blocking be allowed. And, of course, I guess both of them think they're going to be a bit ahead of each other.
Well, I know in the years that I've been associated with this game, I don't know of two small men, that would approach the ability of those two. Tony Roman and Mike Gammon. Really the greatest small men ever to lace them up on the bank track. 21-19 the score here. 4:24 to go in the first half. Then introduce James Paul moving for the Bombers. Getting whipped out of there on the play, jumping Joe Perez, number 43 for the Chiefs. Mike Gammon's in the penalty box. So he's on the track. It's must be early in there. Bombers full strength, the Chiefs with 4. James Paul has got the pack. Alvin Mallory, a jammer, is back there, number 33, to do some blocking on Joe Perez. He's not in scoring position. Mallory is not. Larry Lee doing a fine job on James Paul. Larry Lee has really come along this year. Bill Grove waiting to get a shot in there, James Paul. Here comes Alvin Mallory, the block. Larry Lee and Bill Grohl. Oh, now he's moving on Bill Grohl. That's 1 point for Paul. He's pulling him around behind. Oh, they went off the infield. Look out. Into the Bomber penalty box goes Bill Grohl. He comes up and he wants to start swinging. There's nobody there. Oh, man, this is a wild one out here. Point each way that time. 22-20 is the score. 3:05 to go in the first half. Don't forget, people in the West Coast, they have a big series coming up tomorrow night in San Jose, Wednesday in Stockton, Thursday in Sacramento, Saturday in Oakland at the Coliseum Arena. We'll be telling about those games later on here, just as we keep telling the fans on the East Coast on the Chief Network about the games they have coming up back there.
Well, the big game in Salinas, the only one of the season, on Tuesday, June 19th at the Salinas Ballpark between these same two teams.
Here we go on the jam. Here we go, Bob Dansell out and moving and working on him, hard is John Early. I'm going to call it him being John Early. He's skating like he's mad tonight. John Early is the only man out on the jam.
No
Chiefs lead
doubt.
by 2.
This men's team's going to be stronger too when Sam Tiapula and of course Lloyd Turbin rejoin it for the next game. It's going to make a whole different men's team almost for the Chiefs.
Pete Boyd back to the block, number 36. Roscoe's getting on the infield, yelling at Pete Boyd, telling him what to do. Look out, it's a pull away, but Pete Boyd's in the middle of the Chief pack. He blasted his way right by him. The moving wall would not be stopped. Mike Hammond saying, come on, let's catch him. A pull away here by the Bombers on the Chiefs. It's eating up the remaining time. 10 seconds left. I'm running short, a double whip. No, they can't reach the man, they have to whip. Everything goes haywire. Everything went haywire. They kept trying to set up a whip out there, double whip, but they could never reach the man they wanted to whip. John Early.
That's pretty embarrassing, Walt, and when you're world champions, it's even more embarrassing. They now have beaten, by the way, the teams in the league 3 straight times for world titles, so they may be having a bad play here, but you know the Chiefs are going to stay right in this game.
22-20 is the score. They lead by 2. We have time for another jam here in the first half. Cubs will be at full strength in this final jam. 15 seconds left in the period, but remember, this jam can go the full 60 seconds. They get it underway before it runs out here. 22-20 is the score. Here we go now. 44 seconds left in this period. Bob Dansell is out. Now this jam will go the full 60 seconds. There's 39 seconds left in the half. All 4 jammers are out. Dansell 34. Tony Roman taking out Mike Hammond. Down, Roman ends up all by himself. This dynamite Tony Roman skating himself a great first half.
Well, I think you know who's going to be back blocking it.
Yeah, Mike Hammond won another shot at him, but Bill Grohl's back there right now. Bill Grohl and Larry Lee. Pete Boyd back there to lead the charge now. The crowd starts to roar. Moving wall, talking to Tony Roman with 25 seconds of jamming time left. Larry Lee 44, Bill Grohl 49. They let Pete Boyd go through. Roman tries to follow. No room. 15 seconds left in the jam. Game time is over. 10 seconds left. This could be their last effort right here. Oh, they jumped over Boyd, who went down in front of him. 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Is he through or what? I had 1 second. The officials had 1 second. It's 2 points for the Bombers. They've got Pete Boyd, Larry Lee, and Gammon. He was trying to protect Roman, and they've got him. That's the end of the first half. With the score, the Bay Area Bombers 22 and the Chiefs 22. With me, Barbara Baker of the Chiefs and Joe Perez of the Chiefs. It was a great game, and I want to congratulate you two on a tremendous performance against the Bombers. But if you don't mind, let's talk about something that's coming up. You have a series coming up in the East against the Red Devils. That means Bob Woodbury, and I know your club hasn't faced Bob Woodbury for a long time. When he takes a team out on the track, it sort of disrupts the whole game. Barbara, that won't affect you, when he's on there, but it will affect you, Joe. It's been a long time since you faced this man.
Yes, it has. It's been a long time.
Do you anticipate any trouble from Bob Woodbury?
Yes, a lot of trouble. He's a lot bigger. I've only been skating for about 2 years now, so Like he says, he's rough. And like we don't have really a strong team, but like Grohl, he's doing a darn good job. And I'm sure he can take care of Woodbury.
Well, let me say, Joe, you look like you've been skating for about 5 or 6 years. You look tremendous out there on the track. Barbara, you won't have to face Woodbury sometimes, I might say, because he just finished a series in the Bay Area where he clobbered Laszlo a few times, so he's not bashful about who he hits. But you still got a tough women's field to contend with. Rosetta Saunders, she's a lot of gal.
She is. She's a very big girl, and she's come along so good in the last couple of years that she's really getting up there now.
Now, are you prepared to face a team like this? Because when they come on the track, they make no bones out about the fact they're going to go out there and get your top skaters. Hurt them, get them out of the game. That's the way Woodbury handles the team. And he's got the man on the infield that can tell him who to go get, because that's Ken Monty coaching on the infield. Now, I think he knows all the answers in this game. He was a great star for many years. You think Ken Monty will have a bearing in the outcome of your series against the Red Devils?
Oh, definitely. Kenny's been around for many, many years, and he knows almost every trick in the book. So I'm sure it's going to be a rough series, but I'm sure the girls can take care of themselves because we have a very strong girls' field.
That you have. Have you ever gone against Ken Monty? I don't think as a skater, maybe, but as a coach, Joe.
No, I haven't skated against him. I skated under him a few games, and I enjoyed skating under him because like he helped me out a lot. And I got most of my experience from Kenny.
Then you ought to be able to handle some rough skating.
No, I'll just keep my eyes open. I'll be more alert, you know, as far as the infill and the track, because I know there's Woodbury and there's Ken Monty, so.
Now, between those two, you're going to have to watch who's on the track and who's on the infield.
Right.
Well, Joe, you got a good team to help you in it. We wish you a lot of luck in this series coming up against the Red Devils. They're a tough team.
Okay, thank you, Walt.
Barbara, you're doing a fantastic job. Keep up the good work.
Okay, thank you.
Barbara Baker and Joe Perez of the Chiefs, who have a series coming up on the East Coast. A lot of you fans will get a chance to see them against the Red Devils, headed by Bob Woodbury, Ken Monty, Rosetta Saunders, JoJo Stafford, and many other great stars. Well, the final score here again was 44. The final score we don't have because that was just the end of the half. We'll be back with the last half next week in most of these stations. Walt Harris from Kezar in San Francisco. Exciting skating action featuring the Chiefs and the Bombers. A lot of folks just joining us right now here. We're in the first period of play in the last half, the fifth period of play in the game. The Bombers and the Chiefs, and it's coming your way from Kezar Pavilion, Golden Gate Park in the city of San Francisco. The score, the Bombers 23 and the Chiefs 27. This Walt Harris and Jerry Seltzer trackside.
It's just Jerry Seltzer, Walt. Trackside is my married name.
Here we go. On the play. Jabbers trying to move out of the pack and whipped out of the outside is Carolyn Moreland, 43. This gal certainly coming to her own as an all-star skater. Chasing her, Dolores Tucker wearing a Jammers helmet, number 34. Carol Penis-Meyer in there. Also on to Judy McGuire, 45 for the Chiefs. We got four great ones going on this jab. Look at these gals move and battle out there. At tremendous speeds in the bank. Carol takes down the two Chiefs, and Dolores Tucker moves away. The only threat's going to be a bomber. The Bombers trail by 4. Dolores Tucker up there. There's Sandy Dunn to block, number 46. Carolyn Moreland, 43. The only skater in scoring position is 34, Dolores Tucker. She's got no help back there, but she's got a lot of company, and they're all Chiefs. There's Sandy Dunn with the block. Leaves her on the rail. Slow to get off that rail, Dolores Tucker. Bombers cannot get anybody back there to give her any help. The Chiefs are making sure of that. Barbara Baker and Judy McGuire mainly. There's Moreland with a block. Sandy Dunn with a block, and she's down. That should end it. Time runs out, and Sandy Dunn is not satisfied. And up ahead, Carol Penis-Meyer was decked in there. We have two Bombers on the deck. Sandy Dunn, I think, draws a penalty. She's arguing about it. I think she will lose the argument.
Well, for those who are seeing Charlie O'Connell here in civilian clothes, so to speak, we mentioned before, Charlie's had a virus the last few days. He figured he'd be able to skate this game, but he'd like one more day, so he'll be wherever the Bombers have the next game, he'll be there.
And to mention the Chief band, so won't see Sam Tiapola and Lloyd Jerkin here in action. They had a game night before last in Jackson, Mississippi, and they were unable to get here in time. It was a long drive. The rest of them made it, but I guess they really obeyed the speed laws and couldn't get here.
Well, everyone else flew. Unfortunately, Sam had to drive back or pedal his canoe, or paddle his canoe, I should say.
Here we go. On the jam. Now Kathy William again, and out with her is number 49, Claudia Hobdy for the Chiefs. They're battling out there. There are are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bombers out there and 4 Chiefs, but they're at equal terms on the jam, although Pulliam really working on Hoppy now. Look out, Hoppy. Now Pulliam moving away, number 31. This little gal really coming into her own for the Bombers. People there in the Bay Area always come out here on Sunday because it's always family day at Kezar when there's skating action. Folks in the Bay Area, remember that every Sunday it's family day at Kezar. Kathy Pulliam, 31, trying to score. Carolyn Moreland there blocking 43. Judy McGuire takes a shot at Pulliam now. And the Bombers once again cannot get anybody back there to give their jammer any help. They're on their own so far in this period. Laszlo trying to get back. Baker makes sure she doesn't get back. The time runs out. Bombers' failure to get any blocking help for their jammers has really hurt them the last 2 plays. Score remains 27 for the Chiefs, 23 for the Bombers.
Well, good news for all the fans, especially in Northern California. Our home station here, of course, is KTVU Channel 2 in San Francisco. Effective July 4th, it's also going to become the home station for Sacramento, Stockton, and a lot of other towns as it moves up to this huge antenna. The signal will go all over Northern California, so remember, you're going to be able to see the Bombers on Channel 2 all over Northern California. If you don't get a clear picture now, you're going to get a clearer one. If you're not watching on Channel 2 starting July 4th, watch the Bombers on Channel 2 all over Northern California when that new improved signal comes on the air.
Here we go on the play. Sandy Dunn out there with Carolyn Moreland. Tucker flies in there. They all 3 go down and Tucker out scrambles up. Tucker's out and moving on the play. Tucker all by herself once again 3 times in a row. The Bombers have had this threat. Unable to get a blocker back there, and they cannot. Now Carroll hides in the rail. Little Penis Meyer. Laszlo goes up, but she can't hide. She's too tall. They got a lot of blocking now. A lot of blocking. The Jammers. Oh, the Bombers are down. Oh, Sandy Dunn and Moreland really doing a job out there for the Chiefs. Here's a double whip. Laszlo, no, moving on Baker for 3. She has 3. Cuts off the jam. Moreland goes back to challenger. Sandy Dunn. Ooh. That hurt me, Jerry. Oh! Moreland to a right hand. Tucker did the only thing she could do. She flew backwards. And Sandy Dunn ran right into that right hand.
Carolyn Moreland came running over the bench and sitting behind Scott early because she knows Sandy Dunn is not going to be terribly happy.
Sandy Dunn is burning out there. Moreland's hiding over there behind John Early.
Well, I want to take this opportunity. We have a longtime Bomber fan who says her husband never misses a game on Sundays, and it's her 23rd anniversary today. That's Carmen Harris down in San Jose.
Better call her Carmel.
I'm sorry. Excuse me, Carmel.
Here we go. I'm working. Here we go on the jam. 27-26 is the score off those 3 points that come in there by Tucker. Pulliam is out again. She's working hard, but she's got Sandy Dunn to contend with. And she leaves Sandy Dunn on the floor. Sandy Dunn goes under the rail, out on the floor. Actually comes to a standstill out there. Might be injured. They stop the play. That is the end also of the 5th period of play with the score. Bay Area Bombers 26 and the Chiefs 27. Walt Harris and Jerry Seltzer here at Kezar Pavilion, Golden Gate Park in San Francisco, moving into the 6th period of play with the men on the track. Score 27-26, the Chiefs lead. Remember, the Chiefs are minus their fine skaters Lloyd Turpin and Sam Tiapula. The Bombers are minus Charlie O'Connell coaching the infield, although he'll be ready to go in tomorrow's game. Later on here, in just a moment, Jerry Seltzer will be reminding the fans on the Chief Network about a great special summer series they've got coming up that's really going to create some fireworks back there. James Paul on the jam, moving with James Paul in the play. Number 42, Chris Rowe. Rowe filling in for Sam Tiapula. Pete Boyd, the moving wall back there with the block on Chris Rowe. There's Larry Lee, 44. Not kind of a slim man, but boy, he's doing a great blocking job in this game for the Chiefs. He had a great first half. Pete Boyd moving on him now with all that size, though, and that's too much. 1 point for Paul. Bill Grohl decks ball, goes down. Jam cut off. Time runs out. 1 point Bombers. That ties up the score at 27-27. Jerry, how quickly about some of those dates in the East with that tremendous Red Devil team with Bob Woodbury, Ken Monty, Rosetta Saunders and company moving in.
Well, this is the only series this summer in the East, and it's a short one. A lot of air-conditioned buildings. Sunday, August 5th, Long Island Arena in Comac. Monday, August 6th, the new Broome County Memorial Arena in Binghamton, New York. Wednesday, August 8th, the War Memorial Auditorium, Syracuse. Thursday, August 9th, Glen Falls Senior High School Gym in Glen Falls, New York. And Saturday, August 11th, the Felt Forum, Madison Square Garden. That's a little 4,000-seat building. Be sure and see that one. All seats are good, and here we go. I'll tell you about the rest of the dates later.
On the jam, it's Bob Dansell against Gammon and number 47 on this team, John Early. That was too much for Dansell. Moving in the back, Tony Roman is caught back there. He's a jammer. He's not in scoring position. He's got to block 2 men, and that's a tough job. Mike Gammon and John Early. Look at Dynamite Tony cover the track out there. Even if he loses, he's already skated a great jam here. Tony Roman all over the track. Bill Grohl trying to get a shot at Tony Roman. Early and Gammon trying to go by him. Look out. Early was down. Gammon moving. Dansell takes out Early, eliminates him. Now it's Bill Grohl leading Mike Gammon and trying to catch the pack, and it's moving fast. Here's a whip to Mike Gammon. And Roman takes him out of there, and that'll kill the chief threat on this play. Tony Roman hitting tremendously out there on that bike track. Killed great chief threat. And the score remains 27-27. How about some of those other dates back there, Jerry?
Sunday, August 11th, the place where the Chiefs always sell out, Chiefs and Red Devils, RPI Fieldhouse in Troy, New York. Monday, August 13th, outdoors at Kingston, New York, Dietz Memorial Stadium, with Tuesday the 14th, the rain date. Wednesday, August 15th, Hitchcock Stadium in Patterson, New Jersey. Friday the 17th, the new air-conditioned Civic Center in Springfield, Massachusetts, and the game and series ends August 18th, Saturday night, Long Island, the new, brand-new air-conditioned Nassau County Memorial Coliseum. There you have it, Walter.
We'll repeat them in case you missed some of them, because you don't want to miss the Bob Woodbury-led Red Devils. They live up to their name, believe me. Here we go, and fighting his way out of that pack is Joe Perez, 43, and coming with him is Alvin Mallory, 33 of the Bombers. Both clubs at full strength. Remember, Charlie O'Connell coaching this game from the infield. Perez and Mallory and Perez. Look out, Mallory down and away goes Joe Perez, number 43. He's got Bill Grohl to lead the charge. The moving wall back there at Pete Boyd, 36 for the Bombers. Right up in his back with Bill Grohl. Now he takes Boyd out of there. Now it's Jim Cook with the block on Perez. 1 point has been scored. Mallory's up there in scoring position. Bill Grohl worries about him. Slams him into the rail with a rugged block. Jim Cook puts Perez over the rail. He's back on the track though. Cook is down. He's going to be passed before he can get up. Well, Mallory cut off the jam before he was passed. He saved that extra point. So the Chiefs get just 1 on the play. They lead the Bombers now 28-27.
That shows you something about this game, Walt. You have to think offensively and defensively at the same time. Mallory really had less than a second to decide he had to call that play off because his teammate was down and could have been passed for a point. We're going to be talking, I know, to Bill Grohl at the end of this game, and everyone should stay tuned. I'm sure fans along the Chief Network want to hear what he has to say about the Red Devils, and along the Bomber Network want to hear what he has to say about the Bombers.
Well, here we go. A whip to Pete Boyd by the jammer Bob Dansell. And John Early, 47, is rolling up his sleeves and going after Pete Boyd. I'm going to call him Mean John Early. That's the way he's skating. There's Boyd back in the pack, and John Early did his job. This Early has really come along this last year. He has something out there on skates right now. On the track yelling at him. Pete Boyd's at the rear of the pack now, so Early's got to face him again. This time Early's got to try and get by him, not stop him. There we go. Moving ball, hammers one in there. Bobbers him again, hits him again. Pete Boyd moving up, so he has to stay within 20 feet of that. And Early goes after him with his helmet now. Early goes after with his helmet. Look out now. Here's Bill Groh coming after Pete Boyd. He gets him from behind. Boyd was going after Early. Now Early comes after him. Boyd is down. Boyd was intent on getting Early, who was getting out of there, and Bill Groh came from behind, let Boyd have it, and Early gave it to him again, and he is down. The trainer helping him up. He goes to the infield. That takes the big man off the track here for the Bombers.
For the fans watching in the Bay Area on the Saturday show, of course, Charlie O'Connell will be skating tonight for their big game. The Bombers come to Phoenix to the air-conditioned Arizona Coliseum on Friday, August 31st at 8 p.m., and also to Tucson to the brand new Tucson Community Center on Saturday, September 1st at 8 p.m. Make your plans now. Be sure and see these games. And, Walt, maybe we can get a little golf in down there.
I'd like to. You know, Bill Groh is quite a golfer. Charlie O'Connell hits a long ball. Here we go. James Paul moving on the play. I'll tell you, that's the country to play golf, too.
Generally, every winter, we've gone down near Tucson, some great, I guess they don't call them dude ranches anymore. They call them guest ranches.
I like the country down there. Here we go. Tony Roman talking. He's over to James Paul. Look out. Underneath he comes. Back to the blocker, and there's the jammer going over the top. That was a different play, and the Bombers really racked it up. Completely different type of play. The man whipped underneath was Tony Roman. He was not the jammer. He was just the factor that paved the way for the points by James Paul. The Bombers lead now 29-28 and 4:10 to go in this period.
Well, that tells you something about this Bomber team this season. Charlie O'Connell is out of this game because of a virus. Pete Boyd not available on the play because of a penalty. And the Bombers come through with 2 points, and there doesn't seem to be any loss in depth out there. If you would like to get a free copy of the roller derby rules and understand the game better, put your name, address, city, zip code, and the station on which you watch this game on a postcard or letter and send it to Rules, Post Office Box 1828, Oakland, California 94604. You'll receive a free copy of the rules.
Here we go. The pack's organized. Pete Boyd is back out there moving the string. And the Chiefs have the 2 jammers. Don Early and Mike Gammon, and they take care of Bob Dansell. Now it's Tony Roman to challenge the 2 of them. Look at him go! But they've got him again. They've got him again, and he gets away again. Tony Roman skating a fine game, which he has had many in his career. He's born on his feet. The whip to Mike Gammon. Now the 2 fast in the room with the bank tracker flying around, and they're moving on the back now. Pete Boyd blocking. Gammon into the back. Over on the inside. He got the point. Gammon covers his helmet. Then he clobbered Tony Roman, and Roscoe was after him, and really heads for the safety of his teammates. That was quite a play. Mike Gammon, with a fantastic burst of speed, moved in front. But just for a split second, Roman with a little shove sent Mike Gammon into the pack, into the entire group of players. And Gammon was blocked out that way, and Roman was able to go by on the inside for the points. It gives the Bombers a lead here of 32-28 over the Chiefs. Tremendous skating out there by Tony Roman.
Again, not to take anything away from this Chief team, but without Sam Tiapula and Lloyd Turner, in spite of the good job that this Rowe and Marino are doing for them in this game, they still cannot be considered a full strength.
Out of the jam is Joe Perez. Now the Mallory out with him. Mike Gammon getting into the back from Pete Boyd and then from O'Connell. Gammon cuts back. Oh, man. He was passed for a point. O'Connell interfered that time.
I wonder if they'll disallow that, Walt. They really should.
Well,
Mike Gammon really was out of position because of O'Connell.
They didn't see it, evidently. 2-point Bombers.
And Mike Gammon's over there. He's got right on his side. He's in the infield screaming at the referees, but if they didn't see it, and of course Charlie O'Connell out there saying, I didn't see anything.
34-28 is the score.
And of course, our great camera crew here caught all the action.
We have a great crew here. George Lum is our director. That crew headed by Don Jackson. Al Nielsen. Our cameramen are Ernie Fields, John Anderson, and the Silver Fox, Harley Shumway.
Where's Ed Watkins? Isn't he around somewhere?
I think he broke an ankle trying to skate or something. He's just out temporarily. So here we go. Tony Roman again, and John Early is out with him. Here comes Pete Boyd, and chasing Boyd is Bill Grohl. Roman over the rail. Look down now. Robert, right hand. Early is down. Bill Grohl goes by Pete Boyd. And Gavin takes out Pete Boyd, and it's Bill Grohl on the loose now here for the Chiefs. Roman down again. He hits Lee. Lee goes to the infield. Man, what a game we got going here. Action all around the track here, the Chiefs and the Bombers. What a series it's going to be. Roman missed the block. Bill Grohl gets a point. They've got Pete Boyd surrounded. 2 points. Roscoe hemmed in. 3 points in there for Bill Grohl. He cuts it off. Let's see. 3 points it is. Again over the rails. In there by Pete Boyd, who's really working him over. Now at the other end is Bill Grohl and Roscoe going at it. Perez on the floor here. The 3 Bombers down again. Off board. Bill Grohl goes through, and next 2 more Bombers. Only 1 Bomber standing is Jim Cook and Charlie O'Connell, I might add. That is the end of the 6th period of play with the score of Bombers 34 and the Chiefs 31. Well, the storm signal is up because here we go now into the 7th period of play. The Chiefs and the Bombers. The Bombers lead 34-31. The girls are on the track. We've got it here in this one. Roller skating action. The finest skaters in the world on the bank track out there. Moreland out there. Carol Peanut-Meyer goes down. Moreland sidesteps her. Well, the only jammer out now is the Chiefs skater. They have 4 skaters on the track. The Bombers have 4. Penalties carry over. The penalties drawn from the men carry over into this period of play. There were not more penalties than 1 each time because on my last play because time was out. The period had ended, so did not draw any extra penalties. Moreland closing in the back now. Margie Laszlo back to the block. There's Sandy Dunn to give her teammate some help. Remember, you folks in the Chief Network, Gary will be telling you about games coming up in your area. Special summer series as here we go for 2 points by Moreland. She's going to get the 3rd point, and some great blocking out there by the Chiefs on that play. That should tie the score up at 34-34 all. Jerry, how about some of those dates in the tremendous series that the Chiefs have coming up against the Red Devils with Bob Woodbury, Ken Monty's infield coach, Rosetta Saunders, and many other tremendous skaters.
Of course, the first game is Sunday, August 5th at Long Island Arena in Comac. Monday, August 6th, Broome County Memorial Arena in Binghamton, New York. Wednesday, August 8th, Syracuse, New York at the War Memorial Auditorium. Thursday, August 9th, Glen Falls, New York. Saturday, August 11th, the Felt Forum, Madison Square Garden, New York City. Just 4,000 seats. What a place to see the Chiefs. Most of these buildings, of course, are air-conditioned.
Wire out and off balance, and Carroll sets her up and knocks her down. She could have put her down by just shoving her when she's off balance. Gave her a little help and then blasted her. Keenan Smyer on the jam, about 96 pounds out there moving on this play. Sandy Dunn back there to block. Bombers need some help back there now, and they can't get it back there. Barbara Baker, Debbie Thompson making sure of that. Fire in there to help. The block that time. They're all taking turns. Carol gets up when she's hit by Sandy Dunn. Moreland wants a shot at her. She puts her down now. Here's Judy McGuire waiting for Carol to get up. It's a leg in front of her. Sandy Dunn says, come on, we want another shot. She hammers her with another one. Now Moreland waiting for her to get up. Little hip block in there that time, and Moreland moves out to the back. Carol getting up steam, but she's wobbly, and Judy decks her again. And no help, no points. Score remains 34-34. Little Carol had to take it on the chin that time.
Well, I won't be able to be at the game in Sacramento this Thursday. My daughter Ellen's graduating from Ensenal School in Menlo Park, Atherton. And, of course, one of the highlights of their year this year, they went back to Washington, New York for class. I visited about 40 of them. And one of the real highlights, they saw a game at Madison Square Garden.
That's a great place to see a game. I've always enjoyed meeting the fans back there. They're a great group back there. The people that, thousands, I might say, that go to the games
Well,
back
there
there.
are no fans like the Chief fans in the East for supporting their teams. It's interesting. A lot of them come out here. A lot of Bomber fans go back east. The East meets the West on the back track.
Ortiz went down in the pack, wisely covered up so she was not hit with a skate in the face. Now she's up trying to regain the pack. Laszlo on the jam with Barbara Baker, number 48. And not for long. Baker down. Margie Laszlo moves away. Margie moving on the pack. Back to the block is Sandy Dunn, 46 for the Chief. And the ever-present Carolyn Moreland in case Sandy needs any help. Moreland's going to take a shot at Laszlo. And again, this happened repeatedly earlier in the game. The Bombers could not get any help back there when they had a jammer in scoring position, and the Chiefs had nobody out. So the Bombers strictly in the offense, but they can't get anybody back there. Look at the wall set up by the Chiefs. Bombers cannot get back there. Baker and McGuire making sure of that. Laszlo has to take it back there. Bombers cannot get anybody back there at all. Sandy Dunn decks Laszlo. Here's Moreland now. G decks her now. And it's just a game of yo-yo here with the Bomber jammer on the receiving end. 34 to 34 the score remains. I'm a little unhappy about the fact that no Bomber went back there to help out the jammer. Second play in a row, and this happened earlier in the game too.
That shows two things there, Wall, how disciplined that Chief team is. If you notice, they were all playing a position. They were all defending against one individual skater. And the Bombers, I think, missed the other big girl, Debbie Joe. Debbie had her nose injured last week. It was broken. She's had a reset. She's going to be just as beautiful as ever. But she's going to be out of action in another 2 weeks.
6:54 to go in the seventh period of play. Remember the interview at the end of the game. Judy McGuire is going to move out. No, she's going to whip out Sandy Dunn on the jam. The Bombers have nobody out in pursuit. The girls, even the Chiefs, really showing their strength here in this period. Bombers twice had jammers out. No one out there for the Chiefs. The Bombers couldn't do anything about it. Now the Chiefs have a jammer out. They've slowed the pack down, the Chiefs. Now their job is to get a blocker back there. Laszlo's back there. There's a block on Sandy Dunn. Carol Penis-Meyer. And that's Tucker in there. And it's Laszlo in there. Laszlo again on Sandy Dunn. And the Chiefs can't get anybody back there now. This time they can't get a blocker back there to give Sandy Dunn any help. She's being bounced around. Laszlo waiting for her to get up with Bombers her again. Tucker waiting for her shot. Jump block in there by Tucker, who comes down nicely on her skates and says, go back and get her, Carol. Moreland fighting her way back there. And there's Carol with a jump block. And Sandy Dunn really being bounced around. Here comes McGuire. A whole host of Chiefs end up back there, all on the deck, except for Tucker. Well, the Chiefs got somebody back there, but too late to do them any good. It's 34-34, the score remains.
Walt, Buddy Atkins, the senior we mentioned earlier, he coached the Chiefs this season, did such a great job. Retired, came back to the Bay Bomber Training Center, and he told me before today's game, he just does not like this kind of game. He thinks the Bombers are skating all wrong this season, that they should skate much more cleanly. I know he's talked to Charlie about it, and Charlie's opinion is, of course, the Bombers have been pushed around so much, they're going to skate as rough as they have to skate. And two great skaters in their own time, two great men. You have to say there's quite a difference of opinion there.
I wouldn't disagree with either one.
Well, Buddy says, look, he had the Chiefs just skate clean in the East, and they won the title.
So here we go again with another jam. Judy McGuire, the flashing blonde, moves out, and Carol Penis-Meyer is out with her on this play. Each team a great jammer out and moving. Carol has blocking position at the time. He still has it. Judy McGuire cuts to the blocking position now. Carol tries to cut her off, couldn't do it then. Judy McGuire maintaining that advantage. Little Carol tries to move in front. They've caught the pack, and they caught it in a hurry. Sandy Dunn back to the block. There's her. Carol gets by Sandy Dunn. Back on girls. Here we go. Carol scores one, turns around, watches skaters go over the rail. They're down there. Judy McGuire and Sandy Dunn. Boy, they look beat, but they'll be out there battling as soon as they get back on that track again. Judy McGuire, Sandy Dunn, it's a point for the Bombers, and they lead 35-34.
If you would like to have a game scheduled in your area and you have a gym at a high school or college or an arena that seats more than 2,500 people, write to Bookings, Post Office Box 1827, Oakland, California, 94604. And remember, we're booking right now for next season all over. The Pioneers, Chiefs, Bombers are all booking. You could get a game in your area. Why not write today?
That's a good idea. A lot of games have been scheduled in different areas, because people have wrote in and said, hey, we have an arena here that seats about 3,500, 3,500 people. It might be a high school, even outdoors during the summer. And a lot of games have been scheduled in town because people have wrote and told us about arenas that were available. Get out and check around your area if you want to see a live game in your community. Judy McGuire on the jam. Carol Meyer breaks away from the back, but she's about a third of a lap behind Judy right now. Judy should be a threat before Carol gets up there. 35-34, the Bombers lead. 3:05 to go here in the 7th period of play. Moreland to lead the charge here. Number 43, talking to Judy. It's going to be a whip. There's Laszlo breaking it up. Carol might be a factor now. Another block in it. Judy's down. Carol has the lead in the jam. She's grabbed by Moreland. I wouldn't believe it if I hadn't seen it out there.
They're not going to allow it, Walt. They're going to call that grabbing because she took Carolyn Moreland's hand.
Moreland took her hand out. That's what side of the fence you're on. They didn't allow those points. I don't know, if you put a basket in the in the hoop the wrong way, it's 2 points to the other team.
Called a holding penalty on Carol Meyer.
Now, I don't want to sound partisan on this, but when two people grab hands, how do you decide which one is holding?
I would have to say the interpretation would be that Carol Meyer knew she was taking Carolyn Moreland's hand, and Carolyn Moreland thought she was grabbing Judy McGuire. If that's splitting jammers, I guess that's what it is.
But you said she grabbed Carol's hand. I mean, actually, the one doing the pulling is the one that's doing the grabbing.
Maybe we ought to call the commissioner.
I'm going to write him a nasty letter tomorrow. 35-34 is the score, and a tremendous game here between the Chiefs and the Bombers. Charlie O'Connell will be back in the next Bomber game. I imagine Sam Tipola and Lloyd Turpin will be in the next Chief game, too. Folks out here in the area, remember, San Jose, Wednesday Stockton, Thursday Sacramento, Saturday Oakland Coliseum Arena. Sunday we'll be back here at Kezar. Okay, here we go. On the jam, Barbara Baker. Sandy Dunn way out there, but just keeping the Bomber jammer under control, Armida Ortiz. So the only threat right now is the Chief skater, and they trail by 1 with 1:08 to go in this period. Down went Judy McGuire, so Baker had to cut off the jam to protect her teammate who was on the deck. That killed that threat, and that could be the last jam in this period. As they really get this team moving here, we have 54 seconds left in this period. At the end of the period, a jam ends when the time runs out. That's only not true at the end of the first half and the end of the game.
Well, both teams in this game have been in amazingly good condition. You can really see it by the fact that the pace of the game actually has picked up. There have been less penalties. Neither team has been anxious to sit in that penalty box. A lot of good skating.
Carol Meyer whipped out of there by Tucker with 33 seconds left in the period. Chiefs have nobody out of that pack now. The Bombers have a chance here. Bombers have a chance. They need a blocker back there. They don't have it. There's Moreland and Sandy Dunn doing the blocking on Carol Meyer. They're quite a ways behind the pack. You must be within 20 feet of the rear of the pack when you block. Connell's pointing out the pack to the referee. They're gaining on the pack now. Carol in the middle now. 7 seconds. 6, 5. Laszlo over the top. 2 points. 3, 2, 1. That's the end of the period. Sandy Dunn cutting across the track, trying to get a Carol, who's down. Carol wisely stays down. 2 points, Bombers. That's the end of the 7th period of play with the score. The Bay Area Bombers 37 and the Chiefs 34. Walt Harris and Jerry Seltzer here at Kezar Pavilion, Golden Gate Park in San Francisco. The men are on the track starting the 8th period of play. In just a few moments, Jerry will be reminding you of some of the games coming up in the East in that special summer series. The Chiefs are going to face the wild skating Red Devils led by Bob Woodbury, Ken Monty's infield coach, Rosetta Saunders, many other tremendous skaters, including Little Wayland, JoJo Staffen, Bobby Sieber. On this jam, number 43, Joe Perez out there with James Paul. On the track, both clubs at full strength. Paul spins along the rails, set on it there for a moment, stays on his skates and comes down off the rail. Perez being blocked out by Pete Boyd. James Paul coming up. Bill Grohl will have to worry about him. Bill Grohl, number 49. Bill Grohl moving up now after taking care of James Paul, trying to get a shot at Pete Boyd. It's going to be a whip, I believe. Nope, that didn't come off, but set something else up. Here it goes again, another whip. And it's whipping him right into the moving wall. That doesn't work. That does, oh, Perez with a great move. Now he's battling with Orozco. Here comes Bill Grohl. Takes a shot at Orozco. Orozco's not passed, but he's decked. Now he's passed. That's 2. And it's 2 cheap points on the play.
Gil Orozco did something really very foolish there for kind of a canny veteran. You see, he's holding his arm in an effort to stop Perez from getting any more points. After he was knocked down, Gil had great reactions. He reached up and pulled Perez, and of course his skate hit him right in the arm. It's a good way to get your arm broken, and I don't recommend it for any aspiring skaters.
37-36, the Bombers lead by 1. How about some of those other dates, Jerry?
Of course, the Pioneers and Red Devils are meeting in Troy at RPI Fieldhouse Sunday, August 12th. Monday, August 13th, Kingston, New York. Wednesday, August 15th, Patterson, New Jersey, in Hinchcliffe Stadium. Friday, August 17th at Springfield, Massachusetts Civic Center, where it's air-conditioned. Saturday, August 18th, the series ends at Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Long Island. Be sure and get your tickets for these only games of the summer in the East.
Mike Gammon, Tony Roman. Here we go. Mike Gammon, 45. Tony Roman, 37. 2 of the very, very greatest of all time. And Roman left on the deck as speed-burning Mike Gammon moves away. So the only threat is the chief skater. They trail by 1. Roman gets up and he's decked again by Larry Lee. Then he's decked by Bill Grohl. And here comes Mike Gammon. He decks Mike Gammon that time. Roman was going up and down like a ping-pong ball, but with a great sense of balance that last time. He got up there in time to stop Mike Gammon. Now, here's Bill Grohl leading the charge for Mike Gammon as they're moving on to pack now. Tony Roman caught back there. He'll have the block. Here's the whip. He gets a point. Oh, he obliterates. He hit that infield. There's no way to stop. He took out the penalty box, the bench, about 3 or 4 girls. He completely obliterated the Chief girls team, except for a couple, about 1 gal. Man, oh man, he'd come in there like a shot. They had no way to get out of his way. No time at all.
I hope he is not seriously hurt. He has not moved since he went to the track.
Still got untangled skaters down there. Still getting them apart. Mike Gammon starting to move now. The trainer to help with him. Some of the girls are still sitting down.
When you see him fly like that, in the reckless way that he moves on skates, and you figure he's been at it about 14 years, it's amazing.
He came in there like a bullet that time. Back to action on the track. The pack is formed, and here we go. 37-36 is the score. 50 is the score. I thought he was by for a point. I'll have to write to the commissioner about that, too. Here we go. On the jam, Alvin Mallory, 33. Chris Rowe, 42, moving for the Chiefs. They're the only men out on the jam right now. They're moving on the pack now. Chris Rowe, 42. Alvin Mallory, 33. There's Larry Lee with the block. They're double teaming Mallory back there. They put him down. Now Larry Lee leading the charge. Larry Lee wearing a pivot helmet here. Gil Orozco blocking back there. There's his block on Chris Rowe. Mallory's going to get a... No, he hasn't got a point yet. There's a jammer over there. Larry Lee blocked out by Orozco. That's a point for Mallory. Then he cuts it off. Orozco ends up out on the floor off that block. Man, oh man, what action we've got in this game. The Bombers 38 and the Chiefs 36.
Fantastic. Well, we got a fan letter here from Jake Browning, who wants to thank us for carrying the Bomber games every week on this station.
Great fans all around the country. Enjoy hearing. (38-36). Pete Boyd back on the track with the pivot helmet. Bill Grohl back on the track with the pivot helmet. Both teams at full strength. See Mike Gammon's in there. He's in there. This guy's just too tough to keep down. I tell you, Mike Gammon. And Mean John Early breaks out on the jam. He's got Mike Gammon with him and Tony Roman in pursuit. And then Joe Perez comes out, and Tony Roman against 3 men. Mike Gammon working on Tony Roman. Now Perez goes back to the back and walk. Bob Dansell is broken away for the Bombers. Mike Gammon slowing down Tony Roman, giving John Early a chance to build up a pretty good lead on this play. Roman down. Mike Gammon moves away now. It's a double-barrel threat here by the Chiefs. John Early and Mike Gammon moving on the pack. Pete Boyd back there to block. The Chiefs trail by 2. They've got Pete Boyd going. Bill Grohl hammers him. He is passed by both jammers, a point apiece, a total of 2. Roscoe's been passed by a man. That's 3. Now another man. That's 4. And this could be 5. 5 points in there. 3 by Gammon, 2 by Early. And the Chiefs move out in front, 41-38 over the Bombers.
The Chiefs, of course, we said right along from the start of this game, they can look bad, they can look out of it. They establish a pace and they stay with it. Great, great team that never really gets too far out of a game.
Remember, we'll talk to Bill Grohl later after this game. Backs being formed. Here we go again. 4:50 to go in the game. James Paul breaks away. Frank Marino breaks away. 48 for the Chiefs. Each team of the Jammer out on this play. Both clubs at full strength. Marino grabs the lead. James Paul goes back on the inside. That's blocking position. Marino battles him, stays on his skates though. James Paul moving. They're both moving on the back now. Alvin Mallory back to the block. Mallory has a Jammer's helmet on, but he is not in scoring position. That's Mallory 33. Bill Grohl blocking on James Paul. Sends him hard into the rail. He spins off, stays on his skate zone. Frank Marino has the lead in the jam. Mallory puts a block on him. Pete Boyd puts Marino down. Paul hits him. Puts him down again. Now Paul moving. No Chief threat at the moment. Bill Grohl gets away from a block by Mallory. Another block on Grohl by Pete Boyd this time. It's a point for James Paul, then cuts off the jam. 1 point Bombers. They have 39 on the scoreboard now, and the Chiefs have 41. 3:40 to go in the game.
If you'd like to receive special advanced scheduling information on games in your area, put your name on the mailing list. Write to either the Bombers or Chiefs mailing list. Post Office Box 1828, Oakland, California 94604. Please include the station and city on which you watch this program. Well, Walt, no doubt the next game of the series is going to be interesting. Charlie O'Connell back in the lineup for the Bombers, and Sam Tiapula, Lloyd Turbin joining for the Chiefs. I think we got perhaps the best series of the year coming up between these two teams.
Here we go. Mike Gammon breaks out on the jam. Tony Roman moving with him. Here comes John Early, 47. Roman in trouble again. Early waves Mike Gammon on as he slows down Roman and hammers him with elbow blocks in there. Roman ends up on the deck, and here comes Mike Gammon. He better get up and moving, and he is up and moving. Boy, they react fast out there. Roman blocking and Mike Gammon. Pete Boyd trying to get a shot in there. He's going to get a chance now. Roman whipped out of that pack again. Roman's speed burning up that track is out, and he's a half a lap back, and he's really moving out there. Gammon being blocked out by Pete Boyd, and here comes Roman. Roman with a head of steam. Really, here Gammon sees him, misses him. Roman moving on. Bill Grohl goes right on by him with speed. Roman picks up a point. Sheer speed that time. Bill Grohl just could not get set for him in time. And the Bombers have 40 and the Chiefs have 41.
Tony Roman has paced himself great through this game, and he has just put himself one-on-one on Mike Gammon. Mike, of course, the league's leading scorer for the past 5 seasons, and Tony knows that he's got to match him in the series.
The games in this area. San Jose tomorrow night, Wednesday Stockton, Thursday Sacramento, Saturday the big one at the Oakland Coliseum Arena.
Fans have
Sunday we'll be back here at Kezar.
Fans have been asking, we're going to have that big spectacular this year, July 4th, at the Oakland Coliseum. The answer is no. We do have the Founders Cup tournament. There is a Little League tournament going on in the stadium at that time.
Here we go. Moving on the play. John Early, and he cuts off the jam. Alvin Mallory moving on it. They got a 1-point lead. They're going to try and stall it out. Trying to stall it out that time. I don't know. They were 1-1 out there. 58 seconds to go in the game. The Chiefs lead by 1, 41-40. They cut off that jam. Let Mallory challenge John Early. 48 seconds. Remember, the jam goes a full 60. That's providing a bomber has the lead. The minute a Chief gets the lead in the jam, he can cut off the play. 39 seconds. And the Bombers get Tony Roman out. The jam will go the full 60. And Mike Gammon is after him. Roman's waiting for him. Joe Perez coming out also. Roman's going to be outnumbered 2-on-1. Here comes James Paul for the Bombers. Gammon, Roman doing the job out there. James Paul is up there now. If the Chief gets the lead, it's all over. Paul goes, and Roman did his job. Now Gammon chasing James Paul. Jim Cook back there blocking. Here comes Paul. He drives. The Chiefs score. Gammon, with that speed in his cut in there, Paul at the inside track to win the game. He tripped over something, I don't know what, and down he went hard on his face. The trainer is working on him. O'Connell is complaining that he was by before he went down. Morrissey says he was not by, and they're having a big argument out there right now. You couldn't tell whether Paul was by or not completely. They say no, so the final score, Mike Gammon chalks up the last 3 points, is the Chiefs 44 and the Bombers 40. Wild finish here. It looked like the Bombers were going to pull it out, but not quite. So your final score, the Chiefs 44 and the Bombers 40. Well, the Chiefs beat the Bombers here in San Francisco 44-40, and we have with us Bill Grohl, one of the main reasons the Chiefs won this game, although you got a lot of great help out there, Bill.
That's true. We have undoubtedly team effort. You just couldn't get any more out of them, I'm telling you. And I think, well, the New York fans know. They saw it in the Gold Cup World Series. It was a tremendous team effort.
Now, Bill, Jerry and I have been telling the people about a series you have coming up back east, just a one-shot summer series against the Red Devils. That means Bob Woodbury. You haven't faced Bob Woodbury for a long time.
No, I haven't. It's been a little over a year now, but I skated under Woody and I skated against Woody. And I'll tell you, skating against him, you don't know what to expect. You have to have eyes in the back of your head, on the side and front, all over the place, and you just got to go out there and just be ready for anything with him.
You couldn't call Woodbury a psycho, I guess, but he can come at you from any direction, right?
That's true. He can come from behind, side, front. You never know. And he's like you say, a psycho. I wouldn't say a psycho, but it just seems like when he gets going, he doesn't know when to stop or when to, what to do. But when he gets going, though, he's an awful strong man.
Now, he's got a tremendous team with him. The wild man Bobby Seaver, he's got Joe Stafford, who always knows his way around that bank track. This Rosetta Saunders is really something, too.
Rosetta has to be one of the most, I would say, one of the most improved young ladies in the game. I've seen him quite some time, at least since I've been around. And Joe Stafford, this guy has a lot of talent, and I think maybe he's going to get a chance to use it with the Red Devils.
He's got a gal now that weighs 240 pounds, too, Bill. Aloha Linda Villanueva, a Samoan girl. She's going to be bigger than anything you've got combined out there in the track, say, about 3 girls.
Well, if you get that moving in one direction, well, you want it, I tell you, look out. It'll knock skaters all over.
Now, a team like the Red Devils, when they come in against you, there's no question what they're going to do from the opening game in your series, Bill. You are probably going to be a target, Mike Gammon. They're going to go out to get you 2 guys out of the game.
This is true. This is the same way when we skate. We go after the number 1, number 2. You got to. It's just like in football. The linemen, they go after the quarterback. They got to get that number 1 man out of there because as long as their number 1 team is running, they've got the confidence and they're going to go and they're going to play their best. So naturally, we figure they're going to come after us. They're going to come after me, after Mike, and they go right down the line. So you can expect it every time you go on a track.
Yeah, but the way they do it is vicious.
That's right. Well, we're ready for it, and the game is getting rougher and rougher. And well, we just got to get out there and just grind our teeth and get rough with it.
Well, Bill, good luck to you in that series against the Red Devils back east.
Thank you.
Bill Grohl, who's going to lead the Chiefs against the Red Devils in a tremendous series back east. You folks back there look for a game in your area and go and take it in because it'll be a wild one. There'll be explosions all over the bank track. Well, the final score here again was the Chiefs 44 and the Bombers 40. This Walt Harris speaking from Kezar Pavilion, Golden Gate Park in the city of San Francisco.